Welcome back to Competitive Air Gunning. Today we're going over this Apex Optics 4x32x56 Rival, and this scope is very robust. It is very well designed and thought out. It was manufactured in Japan, but it is designed by Apex Optics out of Canada, and you can tell that this scope is very well designed. It has a lot of stuff going on with it. The reticle is my absolute favorite. It's their CLR reticle, or their competition long range reticle, and it's got quite a bit of stuff going on with it. I'll go over a little bit of that, the best that I can. And at the end of the video, I will post a picture from the manual, as well as some of their information from the manual on that reticle as well, because I know that I cannot explain it near as good as the manual can. So let's go ahead and get started on this. This scope has 32 mils of travel for your elevation. It has also got 20 mils of travel for your windage. It has very nice knobs. They're quite big. Very audible clicks. There is no slop or play with these. As you come around this scope, because it has 2 revolutions, it has an indicator that pops up on the top of the turret. And as I come around, this scope has 15 mils per revolution. And as I get to the 14, I start cruising up to the 15, where I'm going to reset into that second rotation. You're going to see this post stick up right there. And when you see that post stick up, there's no question what revolution you're on. And if you get distracted or something happens, causing you to lose focus, or even if you're just starting your stage, and you look down from the very start of your match, you look down, you see that up, you're gonna look and you're gonna be like, am I really supposed to be on my second rotation? Because it can be the difference of a few points, or quite a few points, trying to figure out what's going on if you're on your second revolution and you're not supposed to be there. So this scope has the zero stop function, which allows you, the way they designed this, which allows you to drop down below your zero about 4/10, and that, coupled in with match directors throwing closer targets to you from your zero, will allow you to engage those targets a little more accurately than doing hold unders. I don't mind hold unders, but the way this reticle is designed with their floating dots, I would much rather be able to dial to my known. I would much rather dial my turret to get where I need to go, rather than trying to hold under. Because a lot of times when you're going below your zero, like my zero is going to be 50 yards from my air gun or my rimfire, and if a match director throws a target at, just say 30-35 yards, I know that target's going to be very small. So trying to hold under on that target and find that target behind a hidden horizontal or a hidden vertical line can be a little more less accurate than me if I was able to engage that target through that floating dot, because I do not have intersecting lines that the target could be hiding behind. Now, this does has a illuminated reticle on it, and it has 6 different power levels for that illumination. And what's nice about this is there is a off before and after every power level for that illumination. So if you find that you like yours on 3, you can go 2.5, or 2.5 or 3.5, and this thing's going to be off. So 1 click forward, 1 click backwards, and it's off. A little more handy than having to reset your illumination all the way to 0, then come all the way back to figure out where you like to have it. Another thing about this scope is it will parallax down to 15 yards, which will get you down to about as close as you're going to be able to see anything. Or even, match directors, I've yet to see one put something past, actually I do believe 15 yards really close I've ever seen one, and it was a bonus stage, and it was pretty tricky to find. You got a few extra points if you found it and engaged it and hit it, so it actually worked out. It was kind of luck that we was able to find it. But the way their parallax is you have a ribbon here that is tapered. So you have a fat end and it comes all the way down to a thin end. Your thin end here will be 15 yards. And as you come around, you will see your first break in this ribbon, and that will be 100 yards, 200 yards, 500 yards, 800 yards, and infinity. I personally like numerical values for my parallax, especially since a lot of the targets that we engage in the style of shooting that I do will be closer targets. They will be probably, 130 down to 50 yards is most of them, with a lot of them ranging between 100 and 50. If you're into this shooting, or if you're new to this shooting, then if you do this shooting, then you already know. And if you don't do this style of shooting and you're learning, then what I'm going to tell you is as you drop down below 100, and you're between your lowest parallax and 100, it's going to take you longer to crisp up an image. The targets are smaller, they hide easier, and it's just all these scopes are the same as far as parallax. And whenever you're starting to get closer to your scope, so you get a little bit more fine tuning than you would, let's say, if you were 100 to 200 or 200 300 or 300 to 500 or infinity. You just have to take a little bit more time crisping up your image if you don't want your parallax to be out of focus and allow your crosshairs to seem like they're shifting on you while you're looking. Now they do have a numerical label tape, which I will be putting on this. And the thing that I like about having a numerical label tape that I can put on versus one that's already on the scope is every scope that I have, my parallax numerical values are incorrect. I'll just throw my razor out there as an example because I use it because that was my primary scope before I've got this one. And I will tell you that where it says 50 yards, I was actually able to crisp up an image at 40 yards. So that 10 yards off is quite a bit of difference. And if I go back to 75, then I know that I'm still off a little ways. So when I dial this scope in at 50 yards and I know that image is crisp as I can get it, I know that ribbon tape, when I match that 50 up to where I got this set at, it's going to be spot on the money. And that's going to play a big factor in my style of shooting, just because if I know that I hit a stage and I know that target is 50 yards or 75 yards or whatever, before I even start it, I can dial this thing in right where I want, and I know that I don't have to reach up and mess around with it. So that being said, as I said before, the scope goes from 4 power to 32 power. It also has a throw lever. And this throw lever here, you can tell it is, sorry about that. As you can tell, this throw lever here is skeletonized. It is hollowed out in the middle, and it is also skeletonized on both sides of it. So if you are sitting at this power magnification here, which is about 11, it's going to be straight in line with your turret. And they made the throw lever a little different than I've seen through any other scope manufacturer, and that's because they hollowed this out. It allows you to be able to see your turret. So you don't have to worry about, something in your line of sight that you can't see through. I do really like that, but if you do not like this, they do have a plug. So simple as loosening these up, popping that out, popping your plug in, and now it's literally flushed up. This is set on 11 power, which is very close to where I like to run my scopes. I like to be anywhere between probably 10 to 15. I usually don't zoom in too terrible crazy because I have found that your field of view shrinks, and it can take you a little bit more time to acquire your target in your field of view. And that could be the difference of getting your last shot off if it's a time stage or not getting it off. So it's kind of a toss-up. You kind of got to figure out where you want to be, what you're comfortable with, and how fast you can get those targets in your field of view. So this reticle on this, I think I've covered about everything I can cover on this scope. So now we're going to switch over to the reticle, and I'm going to go over a little bit on it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to be the greatest explaining it, but I'm going to definitely post a picture of this reticle, and I'm going to post a picture of the subtensions on the manual, so you have a little bit more. I do believe that I did not mention some of the specs yet real quick, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. This scope weighs in at 37 ounces. It also has a 90 millimeter eye relief, which is very forgiving. It is 15 inches long as well. So now that I got the last couple things that I believe that I forgot, hopefully I didn't forget nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and mention some of the reticle. Now the reticle, you have 1 mil of a hold under, you have 10 mils of hold over, you have 10 mils on either side of your intersecting crosshairs for ranging or checking target size, whatever you want to do with it. Your floating dot holdovers, you will have half mil as well as full mil. So if you start off at your intersecting crosshairs and you want to do a 1 mil hold or a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever you want to do, you will have a floating dot where those lines would intersect from 1 mil and 2 mil and 3 mil. And that allows you to be able to see your target a little better than having intersecting lines there. I do really like that function. You can tell that was kind of thought out. And between those, as you get into your half mil increments, you will see floating dots on either side for windage and as well as elevation. Doing stuff like that really helps to clear up your reticle. These reticles can get very busy. I've seen some that honestly I wouldn't shoot them. They got so much stuff going on that they're so distracting, and it just hides a lot of what you want to do. The scope also has at your 5 and 6 mil on your horizontals. It has a 1.5 mil ranging areas, so you can range your targets or figure out a better distance of what you're shooting at. Also has a 1 mil hold under, and that comes in handy as well if you don't have time to dial, or you are one of the people that like to do hold unders when those rare occasions when you have to hit them. So that being said, that's about all I can say about it. Your target dots are very small. I believe they're 0.02 madrillions. On your holdovers, your regular intersecting crosshair, I believe, is a 0.05 madrillion. So we're going to wrap this up. I will post pictures of that stuff as well. Like I said, I didn't want to get too crazy into it because I'd probably be more confusing if I, than I already am. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you like the video. I will have some more stuff coming out. I will definitely do a video on this 3x15 hunter, and I will be posting some videos of this scope while we're running it and while we're running with it with the trigger cam as well, so you can kind of see what everything looks like, how we use it. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.